the last dominant Russian.
Right.
The former Ring Magazine, IBO, and WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, Jean Pascal. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight in his third world title defense, here is Dmitry Bivol.
The WBA light heavyweight championship of the world. Going over the rules in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
But really put up a fight. Can Pascal do it?
Roy Jones, he had too much power and clocked Barrera with a left hook in the 12th round.
Really kind of a tweener, 68, 75-pound kind of guy.
Counterpuncher didn't get much to work with.
No, Chalema didn't give him much work with at all. After you see that with his legs, then we'll go. Pascal doing very good here in this first round.
Yep.
Pascal will give him a little bit more to work with, but Pascal is dangerous, so he'll have to protect himself.
Total of how many rounds? How many judges' cards?
His thighs are larger too.
Yeah.
He just is more.
Sorry, more. 60-something cards handed in by the judges in those fights. 60 rounds scored.
A good shot by Pascal.
Look at how much bigger his calves are than those of Jean Pascal.
Bivol not a very big light heavyweight. You know, one of the reasons he can campaign it, he's blocked by a right hand, but
Pascal backs away from that, gives Bivol a chance to test him against the ropes. The box numbers dominated by Bivol.
Here's yours.
You have to continue with the combination.
Numbers in the first round totally dominated by Dmitry Bivol. And Bivol's power seemed to handle that pretty well until actually blocked by Bivol, but solid effort by.
Much more relaxed and fluid now than he was early in his career when he was more athletic and sharp.
36 fighting a 27-year-old guy. Usually
get the young guy, Roy, right? Like in an exchange when he's not expecting it, and in between.
Right
than a guy like, let's say, Kovalev. But it does feel to me like Bivol has to work a lot
by Jean Pascal, throwing hard. Bivol coming back. Suddenly Pascal is not throwing. Bivol trying to slow Bivol down, but it's hard to win the fight.
You guys are not going to outwork the young workhorse, but you can outsmart his legs. So we'll have to see what happens once he gets hit clean. He won't take much risk, but Pascal will take risk.
Figure it out a little bit more along the way.
It's off whatever opportunity you give him. Pascal wants to limit those opportunities.
To win the fight on points.
Okay. So his goal is to.
How his legs react, because Pascal
is getting hit cleanly right now.
Hand Pascal just landed.
No, it's funny too.
Oh, good hook by Pascal.
Partially.
So he goes back right there.
In the early going. And Jean Pascal has never been a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's not going to exceed 60.
Don King would call trickery once upon a time in order to more like a 68, 75-pound hybrid.
He throws 3 and 4 sometimes instead of just 1.
A round in which Bivol landed 17 out of 57 by CompuBox count, and Pascal was 2 of 21. They don't look unhappy. Max Kellerman talked earlier about the trickery.
Bivol staying very disciplined while Pascal the hook before the right hand came, but the hook came, but the hook is what drove him to the canvas.
Just missing with the left hook, a little bit behind the ear
for a full round instead of him being the attacker all the time.
Now here's a strange slip. Well, one of those right hands landed.
With both hands, I mean, why not? Good jab by Bivol. Distraction.
I think the only fighter I've ever known who could have generated time starting to throw a few more punches than he's thrown before. And down goes Pascal on a perfect right hand in the center of the ring by Dmitry Bivol.
No, he slipped, Jim. He didn't get hit.
Okay. Falling on a swing and the miss.
This is a whole different ball game. Being an athlete. athlete and being a boxer, two different things.
Two totally different.
Both hands with a move like that would be Roy Jones. Roy Jones isn't fighting anymore.
Pascal backing him up constantly, keeping the fight in the middle of the ring.
Always relaxed, yet ready to go, because his feet are disabled now.
Yeah, it's like Bivol doesn't play into any. But I think there's a sense with Eastern European fighters that
4 consecutive rounds against 4 different opponents in which Bivol had held opponents to
where he throws both hands at the same time while he's coming forward. That's MMA.
activity has come to an end, and once again he's keeping his hands at home. Pascal was a huge Roy Jones fan, though.
Yeah, he was. Bivol seemed to have lost a shot by Bivol.
Tremendous body shot by Bivol. Pascal focusing to the body in this round. Would you trust me? We're supposed to trust you, Roy. He landed in single digits against Bivol. That was an unusually active round for Pascal. He almost never.
Jordan called me out last week and said he can beat the old man, so I don't know.
Body shot by Bivol.
Knew better, but was antagonizing Tony
In this round, between the hard shots, into which he really put some effort. Pascal.
Here you see Bivol go with the hook head, hook body, one of my favorite old tricks. As a matter of fact, Sugar Ray Leonard taught me that. Then he comes out
7.
with
We check in once again with our unofficial scorer, Harold
that
Left.
hook to the body. He brought his whole body with it.
Good left hook. One punch at a time for Pascal.
well, but Alvarez and Pascal spent numerous of years in the gym together, so they knew each other very well.
The thing about Alvarez is he was a good enough boxer.
And maybe it says a lot about Pascal's chin and durability. And that's what Pascal was trying to do, and now the fire momentarily goes out.
See how a lot of times the old guy will make one last stand to see if he can do something, and if it,
A little bit of the bloom come off the Bivol rose if he isn't able to knock Pascal out. But you know whose results still occupy Bivol's mind and against whom he measured? Harold.
Well, Jim, I got it 60 to 50.
knows how to get every inch of his leverage on it, Jim. Max.
And game character as he lands a big right hand here. And
Know each other that well, and for Alvarez still to do as well as he did with Pascal.
off, landing only 2 out of 17 punches, while Bivol was able
handed guy at the height of Kovalev's
coming.
hard shots. Bivol waited for the storm to end, and now it's his turn.
But that's what I mean about
Definitely won't pack it in, I can promise you that.
It's not a pack it in, got him a first serve.
less power. Same thing, so Pascal can't counter with the right hand.
Uppercut by Bivol.
We remember the rounds where the other guy was able to fight back a little bit. The credit for knocking him out.
And now tries to follow it up. This might be the moment he was looking for, Roy.
In the middle of the ring, he's using that left chair beautifully to set up a hard right hand.
And the last dominant Russian.
Right. He's fought the next tier down, the older fighter who used to be elite, the younger
With
fighter
the left hook to the body, landed both accurately.
discovered now, and that's a whole other problem set.
But he can do more unpredictable things in there. Am I right in saying that? Pascal expended a lot of energy in the first 30 seconds of this round. Jean Pascal arrived here. What it takes to be voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame round. The 8th. That was the good news, but Bivol landed
Fighting Alvarez. And now
Pascal is able to land some good power shots.
was very upfront in telling us.
Can't throw it all the way though, Jim, because Bivol is going to have sense enough to go to his body after this, so he can't throw it all the
And
way.
that's what he's doing now. He's applying, as in the 2 fights against Sergey Kovalev, he'll take frightening punishment to try to stay in there.
Yes, he
That was the good news, but Bivol landed 21 by CompuBox count.
dominant fighter Bivol, a tough overall package that he presents. With maybe a better overall game, time will tell. A more athletic, kind of longer. The way Bivol showed on the replay.
Is that I catch him with a big right hand and knock him. Now Pascal looking away from Bivol while punching at him. He's trying every trick in the book, Roy.
And some of it worked.
December 11th.
Land a beautiful straight right hand when Bivol came in with his own right hand. Great counter right hand right there.
Bivol bouncing a little bit to try to warm up his legs and get ready. Wild flurries by Pascal in the 7th round that suddenly got Chad Dawson in trouble. Spending a lot of energy in the first minute and still has 2 minutes.
Here and there gave him certain difficulties, but it really speaks to Bivol's
the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. That's an amazingly high standard right there. Just does he erupt like a storm, or does he stand back passively and wait to see what I'm going to do?
Is that body attack? That's when he was doing business.
I agree with you, Max. Let's see what happens.
Should Mikey Garcia have
the best light heavyweight in the world, or at least prove it?
To get ready for round 10 of the scheduled 12. It's Max Kellerman to both sides of the equation, but basically I agree with you, Max.
Yeah, kind of the second highest level, where we remember the time.
On a night when Dawson thought he was totally in control.
Now, Pascal's doing good, the best work of
now it's the passive weight.
100%. Both guys seem to have a little mouse under them.
But he's told us, he told me in a post-fight interview in Monte Carlo.
He's had so many personas in the fight. Released by Jean Pascal.
I gotta be ugly, but mostly blocked. And then Bivol's are landing much more. Is also fighting. And also landing punches.
Bivol to sleep.
Right.
By coming out with a total absence of activity.
Somebody needs to turn that mouse into a rat.
Enough to compete with Errol Spence?
I think he's big enough, and his style of boxing is definitely making him.
Felt that he's really been at risk. I thought Pascal landed one good, not great, but it was a good one.
Pascal showed a lot of heart.
Punches. Chalemba to a lesser degree.
I remember back in 2009, it was one of those. Bivol must wonder every time he comes out, what's going to happen now? Sense of activity, and looks for the moment when he can leap into it. Pascal almost loses his back.
I don't think it's a smart move for him to necessarily challenge Errol Spence because.
And then shoot 1-2. That's all I need from you.
Has not been a
down in his last fight. So at this point, it would seem like Bivol may be.
But in a way, because of that,
tonight he doesn't seem
imagine sitting out there right now in the boxing world watching this on TV. Pascal has made it into the 12th round with Dmitry Bivol. I'm sure Roy Jones,
however impressed or not,
Pascal for him. So
listen,
styles make fights. So Bivol not having a heavy jab like Kovalev has make it to this point though.
Right.
So this is why the fights are so interesting for us.
It's a question because
he's not able to get him out with the right hand or the.
I'm scared of Bivol. I'm not concerned about whether I have to fight that guy.
You're not impressed you are by Bivol. You don't think it's going to be easy.
Nope.
He's going to be a tough
thing you can say is there are very interesting
dominant figure around whom the division revolves. But in fact, the division gets even more interesting. There's no clear front runner in the division.
Pursuing it to the end, Jean Pascal.
Your winner by unanimous decision, Dmitry Bivol.
So unanimous decision for Bivol, and the look on Pascal's face as the